Alfred the Great. Alfred the Great, r. 871 to 899 CE, was the King of Wessex in Britain, but after military triumphs over Viking opponents and later successful talks with them, he became recognized as King of the Anglo-Saxons. Because of his biographer Asser, died c. 909 CE, and the influence of his writings on later writers, he is the best-known Anglo-Saxon king in British history. The title the Great was not bestowed to Alfred during his lifetime, but decades afterward, as Asser's work became more widely known and the significance of Alfred's reign became more completely appreciated. Despite this, Alfred was seen as a noble king who earned the trust of his people via educational and legal reforms, as well as his leadership in the face of the Viking menace. Alfred is portrayed by Irish actress Ferdia Walsh-Pilo in the television series Vikings. The show's Alfred is based on the real Alfred, however, there are notable differences, most notably in his parentage. The Vikings began raiding Britain around 793 CE, and had established themselves across the country by Alfred's reign, from Northumbria to Mercia, with increasing incursions into Wessex. After defeating the Viking commander Guthrum, died c. 890 CE, at the Battle of Edington in 878 CE, Alfred was able to give terms that included Guthrum's and his closest advisors' Christianization, bridging the theological divide between the two peoples. Although this victory did not put an end to Viking invasions in Britain or force the Vikings to return to Scandinavia, it did provide a time of relative quiet for Alfred's reforms to take hold. After nearly a century of Viking attacks and conflict, Alfred's excellent military and administrative skills helped to pacify Britain. He began the practice of translating classical literature into English from Latin, founded public schools, restructured the military, and amended and enlarged the law code. For his piety, justice, and noble vision of a better future for his people, later historians, particularly during the Victorian era, would consider him the most perfect king of the Middle Ages. Alfred was the son of King Ethelwulf of Wessex and his wife Osper, and was born in 849 CE. His father took him on a pilgrimage to Rome when he was 4 years old, where he was confirmed in his religion by the Pope and anointed as king, according to the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. Although this ritual could have happened, it appears improbable because Alfred was the youngest of 5 children, and his older brothers, Ethelbald, Ethelbert, and Ethelred, would have all been in line to succeed to the kingdom before him. Whatever impact Alfred's journey to Rome may have had on his personality, it does not appear to be as strong as his mother's. In Asser's Life of King Alfred, Osper is characterized as a religious and intelligent woman who influenced Alfred's lifelong passion for learning, a feature that distinguishes Alfred and shapes his later accomplishments. He learned poetry by hearing it spoken and then reciting it, but he couldn't read it until he was in his teens, and even then he couldn't read Latin, which was used to write the most important works of his day. The most important departures from Alfred's narrative development in the TV series Vikings are his mother's role in his life and his paternity. His mother is Judith, Princess of Northumbria, played by English actress Jenny Jacques, who is married to Ethelwulf, but had an affair with Athelstan, a Christian monk-turned-Viking-turned-cleric, played by English actor George Blagden. Judith is shown as a compassionate and concerned mother for her son, but no mention is made of Alfred's mother's influence on his literacy. His youth infirmity and trip to Rome are likewise shown fairly accurately, although his brothers and their achievements are blended and dramatized in the character of Ethelred, played by Darren Cahill, and aspects of Ethelwulf's rule and personality are also greatly altered. Following their father's death, Alfred's brothers took turns ruling until Alfred was appointed successor to his brother Ethelred in c. 865 CE and promoted to the status of military commander. Alfred's family may have had low expectations of him as a warrior king because he preferred reading to action, and was frequently ill as a young man, perhaps due to Crohn's illness. If that was the case, they were misinformed, as Alfred proved himself a good leader in war, both alongside his brother and on his own after Ethelred died, between c. 865 to 871 CE.